Which federal regulators really worry you? This is the mortgage banking live stream. Welcome. This is the mortgage banking live stream. Today is June 9th, 2022. And we are here. We are talking politics. We're talking business. We're talking regulation. I'm Troy Garris Horn. We are so happy to have you here. And if you have any questions or you have any items that you want addressed here, just let me know. I will try to get that onto the live stream the next show. Or if you text me here, I can even try to do it. I pick it up on the fly sometimes. I see one coming in right now. I try to pick up on the fly when I can here. That one doesn't appear to be particularly relevant. Couple shouts out as we get started. So first of all, super happy today because yet another PPP loan was forgiven, and can't give much details, but just super happy that occurred. We've dealt with a bunch of these, and several of these have gotten forgiven, and very happy about that. Another shout out here: the MBA's Legal Issues Regulatory Compliance Committee conference just ended. It was a fantastic conference. I hope you were out there. I hope you were able to get information from the people who went. If you didn't, MBA is as always a fantastic group, put together just a stellar conference with tons of content. It was good to meet everybody again, see in person everybody again, and that was quite enjoyable. It was out in Miami, which is a city that I love dearly. Texas Land Title Association has their conference coming up actually just next week, the 13th or the 15th of June in Fort Worth. Short little hop for me, but if you are not planning to attend that, make sure to keep in touch, and I can try to get you in contact with people who can give you some information. I'm actually not going to be there. I like that conference. It's fantastic content. It's a little different from mortgage, where we usually spend most of our focus, but definitely related, and a stellar group. California Mortgage Bankers Association, they're having their conference the 25th to 27th of July in Dana Point. How could you get better than Dana Point? I mean, really, going from Miami to Dana Point, life is, we are definitely blessed. Another bit of info and update: Sandra Thompson was recently confirmed as head of FHFA. We're super excited that we finally got some a formal final confirmation of who's going to be leading FHFA. Of course, that's the agency that oversees Fannie and Freddie, the GSEs, and she's been there a while, and so I think that represents stability. The vote on her confirmation was, it was 49-46, but there was a little bit of diversity there. All the Democrats who voted in favor of it, but also got a couple independents, also got a Republican. It's healthy to see that sort of it's imbalanced still, but a little bit more of a balance than we have seen in recent times. So I'm happy to see that. I do think that we try to stay pretty apolitical on this show too. Although I've been thinking about that and see what you think. Most of America, most of us, really are right solid in the middle. And the truth is, there are people that are a little bit right, a little bit left, but if you take just the middle and think about middle, you got most Americans. It's really just people on one side or the other that really seem to get people excited. And I wonder, are we taking the right approach here? Because being apolitical means that we try to get everybody to be able to express their views and try to get information to everybody, so they don't view us as we're just holding the banner for one group or another. But a real question for you: is this the way to approach it, or should we really be probably just angering everybody and saying, look, let's talk to the middle? I think there's something really missing in a large part of what we talk about, the conversations in America. Maybe we might be taking a little bit different approach. If we do, it probably will enrage everybody. And I don't want people to stop getting this information just because of that. But let me know. Let's talk business. Turbulent market, of course. I talk to mortgage companies all the time. Talk to people at various capacities in those mortgage companies. A great deal from the CEOs to the ops people to the production people, and it's a very turbulent market, as probably most people know. Credit availability was down 0.9%. This is availability. This is not necessarily applications. Apps were down too, 6.5% on a week-over-week basis. But credit availability is a measurement that talks to whether the credit credit box is shrinking or growing, whether credit is tightening or loosening, and it has been tightening a little bit, and that is a bit of a troubling sign. And people know, people watch this show with any particular regularity know that I'm a huge fan of home ownership. That I think is the way to have Americans build wealth. I mean, come on, you're going to be paying a monthly payment regardless. Let's get that monthly payment on a house that you're actually going to own at some point. Lock those rates and those prices in and pay over a period of time. That's one of the best ways to drive wealth. My mom told me that long time ago, and it's proven to be true. Thank you, Mom. Pending home sales down also close to 4%. This is in April of 22, and the inventory problem remains. There are some signs that, at least in certain areas, that the lack of inventory, the fierce bidding wars that have been going on are starting to slow down a little bit, starting to cool. Nobody really knows, and it's all anecdotal at this stage. But pending home sales anyway, just that measure in April was down. I would say also that there is a fair amount still of industry infighting going on. So we're talking mortgage here now. We're talking about companies that are right sizing, so people that are having disputes with their employees. We're talking about companies who are looking for volume, looking to bring on producers and fighting with each other. And I'm seeing more of this than I have in a long time. And I've been doing this for quite a long time. And there's just a lot more of this going on than I have seen in recent history. I will say that some of that probably is inevitable, but I would also say that especially if you're getting two companies fighting against each other, think hard about whether you're fighting on principle or whether you're fighting for something that really makes sense as a business owner, business CEO, because that kind of distraction, that kind of problem, that kind of outlay of funds really can be something that can be a drain on what you're otherwise focused on, and there's some fights worth fighting, but not all of them. So make sure that you're paying attention there. So here's the main question for today, right? What federal regulators scare you? And on this show, we talk about the CFPB a lot, and there are a lot of things to talk about at the CFPB, especially for people. Hey, thank you. I just got a text here. There are a lot of people that need to be focused on the CFPB and what they're doing, and we talk about them all the time. By the way, there's a good article in the Wall Street Journal today. Actually, I'll just read the headline here. The headline is "How a DC Bureaucrat Amassed Power Over Businesses, Banks, and Consumers." Now, I didn't write the headline. It's designed to get your attention, but it's talking about the director of the CFPB, and it's quite a fascinating article. You should take a look at that if you haven't already. But we talk about the CFPB a lot, and it is probably the chief concern amongst most of our clients. But what about other federal regulators? So CFPB is there, of course, right? What about other federal regulators that you need to be focused on and tuned into as to what's going on? So I would say that HUD, the government regulators, HUD, VA, USDA, Those agencies are something you really should be paying attention to. HUD because of the FHA, of course. VA, USDA because they have their programs for lenders, of course. But FHA, or HUD rather, the Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity there enforces the Fair Housing Act. How many people are paying attention to what's going on in the Fair Housing Act? What about the Department of Justice? It gets involved with enforcements in the Fair Housing Act. Are you paying attention to what's going on in DOJ? What about the Mortgagee Review Board over at HUD? That's something you really got to pay attention to. I will tell you that in these times where there's been a lot of turmoil and we have seen a ramp up in fraud as well, that there is undoubtedly a pipeline of Mortgagee Review Board type actions that are coming down the pike. We have several that are sitting over there right now already, and we always are involved in those, but they're coming down the pike. There's also, FHA or HUD also has offices that deal with limited denials of participation, which means that they can put an individual out of the business with doing business with the federal government. They have debarments. They can put companies out of the picture of being able to do business with the federal government. This is government-wide. So there is a lot to be concerned about and to be paying attention to over at HUD, VA, USDA, any of those government regulators that deal specifically with lending. What about the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission? Not many people pay all that much attention to the FTC, especially these days with the CFPB there, but FTC it has overlapping jurisdiction with the CFPB. It deals with UDAP, so unfair deceptive acts and practices, deals with robocalls, has the ability to go out and has shown an impetus to go out and talk to people about robocalls. This is also something that I think a lot of people are focusing on right now because, let's face it, the sheer number of calls that we get, I get them all the time. I probably get 5 a day where people are calling and my phone fortunately picks up and says likely spam call. I don't answer those, but it's something that really annoys people, and Congress and the regulators get those same calls. You can bet they're focused on them. The FTC deals with privacy, the safeguards rule. FCRA has overlapping jurisdiction with the CFPB on FCRA. They recently settled for under an unfair deceptive practice theory with a company that they allege was involved in mortgage relief scams. So FTC is definitely something that you need to keep on the radar. Again, it's not the kind of thing that you will focus on as much as you do the CFPB, the primary regulator in our business, but definitely an area where you want to pay attention. Also, what about the FCC, Federal Communications Commission? Is anybody even talking about them? Well, I'll tell you, there is a robocall initiative, again talking about robocalls. The FCC has launched a robocall initiative, and it's banded together with MOUs, a memorandum of understanding with most of the state attorneys general, and they are going to be out. They already are out, but they're going to be out in greater force, greater number, out trying to get rid of these somewhat annoying, oftentimes scammy type calls. And not everyone, but a lot of people in the mortgage business need to be paying attention to this, because there are indeed areas where the do not call type provisions, it involves texting as well, where those types of provisions apply. NAG, the National Association of Attorneys General, also involved there, and they're working with the state and working with the FCC and others. They all have memorandum of understanding. They're all putting these pieces together, and something you really need to be paying attention to. Let me just say a couple things to people. Doreen Gussar, great seeing you. Carl Hines, same here. So many great people here, actually. Thank you. Jeff Bolin, saw Jeff out in Miami. Lonzo Sheffield. Lonzo, as always, great person. Felice Farrow. Felice was out there too in Miami. Great to see you out there, Felice. Felice, as it turns out, lives right down the street from me. It is funny to meet people the way that happens, but it frequently does happen that way. Kevin Peranio is always fantastic. to see you as well. Chance, man, just so many fantastic, wonderful people. And I do thank you all. Sean Burry, James Eiley. I could go on and on. You guys are fantastic. I will say, if you have anything that you want me to cover here, send me the information. I will get it on. Thank you for all the support. Remember to ring the bell so that you'll get updates when these happen. Subscribe if you think this content is helpful. Share it with your friends. And we will talk to you very soon. I'm Troy Garris at the Mortgage Banking Livestream.